folks standing outside, I know we want to get them in here as well. But you know what? I know. Do we? Do we really want them in here with us? Shake your head, yes. Yes. All right. So we are going to start our Sunday service this morning. It is 10 o'clock, and let's just start and get this show on the road, shall we? We've got a lot of good things happening today, and I welcome you here. Good to see you and be with you today. We start the service today by offering our acknowledgement that we stand and gather on the land of the first people of Florence, the Saisla Indians. We honor with gratitude the land itself and the members of the Saisla tribe, past, present, and future. Yay! Yay, yay. We're going to open our service today with singing Spirit of Life. If you have a hymnal, you can open it up to number 123. The words are in the program if you just prefer to follow along. And Jeff Lovejoy is here on keyboards and going to lead us through Spirit of Life, number 123. Yay! Are you ready, Jeff?
Oh, you're changed.
Sunday back since COVID, and we are very excited to see all of you. Unless you're standing up here, we ask that you remain masked at all times. And if you need social distancing, we have chairs around, and just make yourself as comfortable and safe as possible. Okay? Deal. And then afterwards, we'll go outside. We've got a picnic happening outside. You can rip off those masks if you want to and give hugs, as long as people accept them, right? We're not going to get personal if somebody says no, right? Right. Okay, good. So next week, we're delighted to have Carrie Gottfried in the neighborhood to bring a special message titled The Butterfly Effect. You'll get a preview of her message when a reminder goes out in the newsletter either Wednesday or shortly thereafter. But rest assured, you'll want to be here. What did I say about number of chairs? You don't want to be standing in the back, right? You want to get here early so you get a chair. Okay. So Carrie, as you know, or may remember, she comes to us from Corvallis. And she came to and gave us her first sermon when she was a senior in high school, and that was just 3 years ago. Oh, wow. So this is just a fabulous thing to have her here with us. We love Carrie, and we will welcome her next week. So inside the program, you'll see the reminder about being fully masked. Also, at the conclusion of our service today, Donna Smith, who's here from the very first time, you've seen her on video. We'll pull some chairs up front here, and you can sit around and talk to Donna for 15 to 20 minutes and deepen your understanding of the message today, okay? While that's happening, Catherine Hemmons will be back in our quiet library. If anybody would like to have affirmative prayer, that would be Catherine's gift to you and to us, so we love that. And finally, we've got a picnic in the backyard. So when we're done here, those who want to go to the picnic, grab a chair. You've either got one in your car or you can take one from in here. We're going to have pizza. It's going to be a way to welcome Donna to our fellowship and feed you.
Yes.
Yeah. Be sure to check the e-blast that comes out, the newsletter, because it talks about all the classes, the events, who's coming in, who's going to be on our Sunday pulpit, all of that good stuff, okay? And two more things. On the back of the program, you'll find our leadership team. And what we are looking for, though, is someone who can help us with cleaning. Maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks. Vacuum, dust, clean the bathroom, take care of supplies. So if that's something you'd like to do as a gift to this fellowship, please see Deborah Jordan, the tall woman that's going to stand up right now. There she goes. There she is. Yay. I am done with announcements. Are there any announcements that you would like to share? We do have joys and concerns coming up, but if you have an announcement, a brief announcement, come forward, please.
Oh, I don't need to come forward.
No, you do.
My neighbor came to me desperate. She's got two of the most beautiful, beautiful puppy dogs I've ever seen in my whole life. Donna. She's looking for a groomer, a dog groomer. So if there's anybody here or you know somebody who grooms dogs.
Dirty dog grooming. She's a
Dirty
member
dog
of your
grooming.
Kathy Arnold.
She lost her groomer, so we're all on cancellation list now.
Okay.
So, well, let me know.
Village grooming is a
Well, when you find
union.
out, you let us know.
When you find out,
Village is taking new people. They're about a week or two out. That's all.
Here we
so
go.
Dirty Dog Grooming, Kathy Arnold, contact her. She'll
No,
let you know.
Village.
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 Huh?
It's
Village
village.
grooming.
Kathy Arnold.
Village Grooming.
Yeah.
Wrong name.
Village. Kathy.
Village Grooming.
Kathy Arnold.
Thank you, Tuvia. Another announcement.
Lisa.
Yes. Ashley, did you have an announcement?
Oh, no.
Oh. Anybody else have an announcement? I'm so confused. Well, who owns Dirty Dog Grooming? Somebody else.
Lisa.
Lisa and her husband.
Lisa, we'll call Dirty Dog Grooming.
Yeah.
Anyway, no other announcements. Thank you. All right, here it is. On the piano behind all of you, we have a laptop computer, and we are Zooming this live as a test. The person that's watching it on the other end is Jennifer French, my better half. So if it works, it works. If it doesn't, we won't do it again. So our opening words Donna has provided for us are by Roy T. Bennett, titled The Light in the Heart. It's your life. You don't need someone's permission to live the life you want. Got it? Be brave to live from your heart. Be brave enough to live the life of your dreams according to your vision and purpose, instead of the expectations and opinions of others. Done. Done. Okay, which of you two is going to help me light the chalice? Ashley will help us light the chalice. There's the clicker. Test it. Your finger does not go in the little thingy, it goes on the outside. Sorry, Jennifer.
Before I got here.
Childproof.
There'll be classes after.
Some people's children. Okay, so we do have fun here on Sundays, okay? So this is from Erica Hewitt, and it's titled, Bold and Courageous Together. With full hearts, we affirm our relationships with one another. We recognize our agency and our connective power, and we accept our responsibility to be bold and courageous. We light this chalice, thank you, Ashley, symbol of all that we are, all that we have done together, and all that we will be as our shared ministry encourages those within and beyond our walls. Blessed be. Again, welcome to our fellowship. Catherine.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Let's see here. This is the time we remind ourselves how we can actively embrace each other as a community. Whether it's a quiet word or intention, a hug when appropriate, a phone call or a visit, or making a meal for someone who just can't manage right now. When these small gestures come from the heart, they add to the healing vibration of the universe. So today, before we line up, and if anyone has a joint and concern that they would like to share, you can line up here. I have a couple beforehand, but yeah, please line up.
Richard, come forward.
And, but first I have something to say about someone in our community. And you can put a shell in there for Marcia Phillips.
I will.
Many of you know Marcia Phillips. Among other things, she is the creator of the Oregon Lighthouse coloring book that she presented to us right before the pandemic. She is allowing me to share that she is preparing for cancer surgery by having chemotherapy sessions to shrink a tumor. Right now she is struggling with the effects, but is organizing herself around this challenge. I want to thank Karen Cooper, one of the care committee callers, for assisting Marcia and relaying information to me so we are aware of how we can help her. And Sue Theaker, who has assisted Marcia with meals and driving her home from the emergency room just the other night. As you can imagine, this is beyond challenging, but Marcia is determined and resolute to continue with life through and out the other side of this cancer treatment. One more thing. She doesn't really want to talk about the details so much. That's why I'm saying them now. She just needs assistance and comfort. So if you know her and want to contact her directly, please do, or talk to me afterward to see if there's some things we can do to assist her. I have another concern, but it's quickly turned into a joy. Obi, who is Raymond Davis's husband, who's usually our chalice lighter, he fell in memory care. And so he had just entered memory care about 6 weeks ago. But he's doing terrific. He is really, Raymond wanted me to share that he's really doing great, finally, in actually enjoying where he's living right now. And this is a real, this is a place that, of course, Raymond and all of us, wanted for him to at least enjoy himself. So a couple of shells there. Okay. Anyone else? Okay, we have Richard.
Well, this is my chance for a little show and tell. I remember that from my kindergarten years. So this is my wife's, my favorite toll painting of my wife of almost 55 years, Barbara Jones. And this is my joy. Throughout those 54 years, things would happen that could have turned out badly. They never did. Barbara always insisted that I have a guardian angel. I put that down as luck until I attended a workshop with Ruth Miller, and I have a blinding insight that yes, indeed, I did have a guardian angel, and it was my departed sister who had passed away when she was only 13 from kidney failure. And it just came to me, and that was it. And so my current joy is now I have 2 guardian angels. My wife passed away April 7th of 2020. And so I've got 2 guardian angels up there, and I'm so just feeling fulfilled and moving forward. And I want you to know one final thing. During the pandemic, I discovered how to make holy water. All you do is put a big pot of water on the stove, and boil the hell out of it.
Richard. We've missed you, dear friend. Michelle. Donna, come up forward.
So nice to be back here again. My concern is for Spruce Point Memory Care.
Oh, yes.
They have had 25 people test positive, and so they're locked down again. And I've been going regularly and walking with Phyllis Coates. So Phyllis she really did a lot of work here, and she was a dear person to you. So I have her phone number. If anyone just wants to call her, she won't necessarily remember your name, but she'll appreciate the call. Just to chat, just to say hi. See me afterwards, and I'll give you her phone number. And once they open back up, all I do is I call the memory care number, say I'm coming to walk with Phyllis, and they get her ready, and I meet her out front, and we take a little walk around the building or so. And I do this regularly, and she appreciates it so much. So anyone else who would want to walk with her when they open back up, I encourage you to do that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. We've got 2 more. Come on up.
So I have a joy. I wanted to share that the Serene Abundance Studio was able to get business funding through the Small Business Association. So we have all the money that we need throughout the end of the year, and we moved to a new space on 18th and 101.
It's gorgeous. You gotta go see it.
Yeah, and we're going to be having events there, and we're ready to go with being able to welcome people back in person.
Yay. Ann, come on up. Ann, why don't you come on up? We've got.
I'm working on it.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't hop, skip, and jump.
Put that nice and close.
I have 3 shells. The first is for the Power of 8 and their intentions for my partner David and for me, and also to thank the other caring people here who are so supportive. And you don't really know what support means until you need it so desperately. So that's 1 shell. I want to drop another shell for the majority for the work they've done at libraries, retired skill librarian, that library just touched my heart. And all of the people who've worked so hard to bring us wonderful, new, beautiful facility. And finally, Dave finished his radiation last week. He's going to be facing chemo. But with all of the power of good intentions and that man's strong will, especially appreciating Karen and Jim coming and talking with us yesterday about what it was really like to go through chemo, both as the person doing it and as the caretaker of so long. But all of this is just so supportive. So thank you.
And Jill? Jill has something she'd like to share. Right up there.
All right, I just want you all to know that I have a dear friend staying with me at this point, and her name is Amara Grace. And would you stand up and wave? Amara is a fabulous singer-songwriter of the heart that we all are very familiar with and love. She's all about the message of love in the world, and is an important voice in the world. So I hope you'll see a lot more of her at the piano here. And yeah, okay, yeah, and I'm really glad to be back. I moved back a few months ago, and yeah, I'm kind of done with the city, which I call the shitty now. Anyway, and so yeah, yay Florence, yay foof. Okay.
just so you know, our piano is undercover in the back. Hasn't been tuned in 2 years, and it's not going to move for quite a while. So when we get the piano back, maybe we'll invite you to be one of our Starlight Cabaret entertainers. Okay? Thank you. Thank you.
So one more, okay, oh, yes,
I have
you
one.
do.
I do. So 2 is I want you to just, next time you're up here, take a look at these little white stones, right? Donna made these for us, didn't you? So this one says wholeness, this one says health. And there's 3 others that have other reminders. She made these for us and shipped them to us several months ago. So these are from Donna Smith. Thank you very much. And the other is, this is on behalf of Jennifer, my partner, my spouse. Her father made his transition on Wednesday. It's been a long time coming. He went in peace, as best you can, and surrounded by family and friends for so long at this point. But I just wanted you to know firsthand that he did finally pass. It was expected, and no big shock. But this is for Jennifer. I love you, and God bless Ted.
He was 99, correct? 99.
Couldn't make it to 100, Ted, huh? I'm just saying.
One more shell, Sally.
Yes.
For all those we don't know about, the ones too shy or too private in nature to come forward, we circle you in our loving attention. We hold you in our hearts, for there is no separation. We affirm and confirm that there is only one unconditionally loving life force that infuses and envelops us all in its healing power. And Ernest Holmes says, whenever you say all things are possible, you mean that the power that created the planets is now operating in your affairs, in and through everything you do. And so it is.
You know, one important thing I forgot to do at the very beginning was to ask if there were any guests here today. If you're here for the first time and you'd like to stand and introduce yourself, we would love to know who you are. If not, that's okay. Just want to give you an opportunity to say hello.
I'm Stan, but I had back surgery, so hello everybody, I'm glad to be here. I'm Vinny.
That's Vinny. I met Vinny just a few minutes ago. He's been trying to get here, but we haven't been open. Finally we are, so.
I did show up every Sunday though.
Yes, you did. Thank you, Vinny. We really appreciate your being here.
Thank you.
Okay? So, what? I'm sorry. What? Hello?
Hi.
Oh, yes, but you've been here before, so sit down.
It's been 2 years.
It's been 2 years, okay, fine.
I tend to come when Ashland has fires.
Oh, that's right.
So, I'm here for my friend Ruth and other people in the congregation I know, and I'm fleeing the smoke.
Well, we're glad you're here with us. So before we continue with our service, you have a hymnal. We haven't done this in such a long time. It's number 347. It's called Gather the Spirit. If you would like to sing along, we ask that you rise as you are able. Jeff is going to lead us through this, and if you want to sing along, it's number 347, Gather the Spirit. Rise as you are able.
There are pauses in between verses.
There are pauses.
Don't get carried away.
No, it's not following.
Yeah.
I invite Deborah to come forward, who will officially introduce you to Donna Smith. So it's my pleasure to turn this over to Deborah and then to Donna.
I am so very happy to be able to introduce to you today our new minister, Donna Smith. Donna became a Unity Worldwide Ministry spiritual leader in 2009. She's also a Unity chaplain and trainer, a Taizé prayer leader and trainer, a Reiki master and practitioner, a nonviolent communication teacher, a student and teacher of A Course in Miracles, and student and teacher of the Way of Mastery. She was the minister for Unity of Roseburg from 2009 to 2013, and is now a monthly guest speaker there, as well as at the Roseburg UU, and now here at FUF. I'm so happy to have her join us here. What makes Donna the happiest is to help others find peace and joy in their lives. Today she'll be continuing our July theme of courage by focusing on how making the decision to incarnate into human form requires great courage. There is no greater expression of courage than embarking on the journey of a lifetime, living, growing, and learning. Let's all give Donna a warm welcome.
I go up now?
Yeah. You're up.
I will get this down. Yes, I will. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's wonderful to see you all in person.
Yes.
This is just for everybody. The UU in Roseburg is opening on August 1st. It's just, I can't even explain how wonderful it is. Have you ever felt in your heart so much joy that you just felt like you were going to explode?
Yes.
Yeah, that's how I feel right now. I'm just so grateful to be here with all of you. It's just wonderful. And I've been watching on YouTube the last two services you've had here. And now being here, your energy level is just beyond the world. And I love it. It's so difficult to talk, with no people around you. How do you give a sermon with some feeling? It's so hard. And just having you here is so encouraging. So I just thank you. You're wonderful. This church is wonderful. And I can't tell you how welcoming you've been. And my heart is so grateful. Thank you, thank you. So yes, our theme for July is courage. So I want to start this out by telling you a little story about me. I was very young. I had just graduated from Merritt Davis School of Commerce in Salem. Okay? I was a legal secretary. I was so excited. Well, Merritt Davis School of Commerce taught you how to talk, how to dress, and how to walk. You had to walk with every step you took, touching your knees. I thought it was really weird then too. But I did it because, I wanted to be a secretary. So I had in mind exactly what I wanted, and I graduated. And there was a firm in Eugene, Sahlstrom, Lombard, and Vincent, and they were looking for a legal secretary. So I thought, great, I'm well qualified, I know what I'm doing, and this is going to tell you how old I am. I wanted $375 a month. So I go there with my resume in hand. I walk in with a poise, dressed perfectly, with confidence, with my knees knocking as I walked. So I went in there with that. So I actually got an interview with Mr. Sahlstrom himself. And it was a bit intimidating because Mr. Sahlstrom sitting in his chair with me standing was taller than I was. That's how tall this man was. But I kept my confidence. And so I sat there and he's looking at my resume and there's this silence. And finally he says, okay, I'll hire you for $275 a month. And then it was like I went into a dream because I couldn't believe what I said. You know, I said, you know, I am very well qualified and I do an excellent job at work. And I would have to have $375 to work for you. There was some silence. He actually, looked like he was astonished that I would say that. But I just sat there in this dream, and finally he said, if I give you $375 a month, I'd have to raise everybody else's salary here. And I said, well, that would be your decision, not mine. And so he looked at me again. I'm sitting there with this smile, and I'm about ready to faint. I really am. And finally, he said, okay, I'll hire you at $375. He says, come in Monday morning, go to personnel, and you're going to work for Herb Lombard. He turned out to be an excellent, just wonderful person to work for. So I got up, thanked him, walked out with my poise, and my confidence still intact, according to him anyway. That was my persona I was expressing, and my knees knocking as I walked out. Anyway, I get to my car, and I just start jumping like a kid with, that just got a new bicycle. I did it, I'm jumping around. And then all of a sudden I stopped and I said, how did I do that? How did I do that? And I, at that time, had no idea how I did that. Because, like I said, it was like a dream. Now, I know, contrary to what you're going to believe, what everybody I know in my life would believe, I was very, very shy then. Very shy. And I would do anything to avoid conflict. I would just accept anything. And the problem is, at that moment in my life, it was very pivotal for me because I had a taste of courage. And you know what? It tasted really good. I liked it. And so it really did change my life. I didn't know then, but what I know now is I had found the courage to follow my heart. And when you do that, you get what you want. Okay? Now, here's what I really want you to hear. Everyone has that courage within them. Everyone. And the reason you have it is because you are a divine being. And by your divine birthright, you are love, you are light, you are peace, you are joy, you are courage, you are wisdom, you are intelligent. Now maybe we don't express that in our actions, but that's who you are, and you can't get rid of it, because that's who you are. And so that's what I wanted you to be sure and understand. Because some of you might say, oh, wait a minute, no, I am not a courageous person. And I say, well, maybe you're not courageous in your actions, but you are a courageous person, and you can't get rid of that. You do have the courage to follow your heart, your intuition, your passions. You have it. In fact, as someone else was saying this morning, it takes tremendous courage to even choose to incarnate. Do you have any idea how courageous you are to do that? Because this is a hard road for some of us. But it takes a lot of courage, a lot of courage. Now, why, if we're so courageous, why isn't that part of our life and our experience every day? Well, here's what happens. We cover that courage up with our fears. We allow fears to control what we say, what we think, and it control our lives. That's what happens. Now these fears, it could be something you're very aware of. Or maybe they come from a place where you're not aware of them. Bruce Lipton says that 95% of our consciousness is in the subconscious that we don't know about. Wow, that's scary, isn't it? Now, I don't have time to talk about that today. However, with that awareness, then maybe that will give us the impetus to find out what's in that subconscious. Because that stuff will come up and control your life and you don't even know what's going on. It's running your lives all the time. However, your heart will help you find out what those are and find that information. Now, there's this little voice that we have in our head. You know that little voice that talks all the time? And you might be saying, I don't have a voice in my head. And I'm going to say that's the voice I'm talking about. Yes, you do have a voice in your head. And it's there all the time. And that voice is insane. Okay, you gave it a job to do, You gave it a job to help you figure out what life is about and how to feel good about life. But it's insane. That little voice is going to be the I can'ts. I can't do that. I'm making these wonderful things that I know people would love, right? And I want to start a business. Little voice in your head says, I can't do that. I'm not smart enough. I can't, how am I going to get the money? I can't get the money to do that. I can't. Or it's going to say, what if? What if you fail? What if you can't pay back the loan? What if? Or even more serious is the naysayers around you. You're not smart enough to do that. Are you stupid? How are you going to pay back that loan? All of that is coming to you. And what do? Well, if you listen to all of that, then you're going to give up your dreams, and your passions. However, have you ever just did something? What if something happens, and it happens so quickly that you're not listening to that little voice or whatever, that chatter in your mind, and all of a sudden, you just do it. And you do it with courage. You think, wow, I did that. Wow. Or what if, those dire circumstances come around, situations where something is happening and you just do it, You're not thinking about it. You're not thinking about it, you just do it. That's when your courage just comes out, because you don't have time to listen to the voice, you don't have time to listen to the naysayers. And those are the times when you go beyond those fears and you do what you want to do. Now, you've all probably heard about people who do these courageous things, and I'm sure all of you have done them too. Saving lives. Remember the time, it's been a while, but the lady that lifted the car up off of her, I think, son or husband or something? Excuse me. Well, not only was that courageous, but I think scientifically they said not possible, but she did it. She did not stand there and start, thinking about, well, what should I do in the little voice, No, she just did it. So the message here, and it was for me too, don't listen to that little voice in your head. Okay, especially if it's just saying, I can't. Now, if there's a voice in your head that's saying, yes, you can, listen to that one, okay? Listen to that one, but don't listen to the I can'ts, what ifs, or anything like that. Now, we can really get bogged down in those thoughts, what, might happen. So time is kind of like a block in showing our courage, isn't it? You know, time just gives that little voice, that room to start talking to us. And, you know, that little voice will create some scenarios that just go on and on and on. I've done it many times. And what's really interesting is within, let's say, a time limit of 10 minutes, I've gone from one subject to another, to another, to another, to another, because it just keeps leading to this and that and everything. So I'm talking about a friend over here, and then all of a sudden, you know, I'm overweight, my boyfriend's not going to like me, and then the next thought is, oh, I missed my exit. Oh, that little voice in your head just took me through all of that in 5 or 10 minutes. But those are the scenarios that your little voice will create. Don't take them seriously. Please don't take them seriously. My friend Inga and I are going to jump out of an airplane next month. Skydiving is on my bucket list. And now that you know how old I am, I better get to it, I think, right? Now, am I fearful of jumping out of an airplane, you know, thousands of feet above Mother Earth? No. Doubt? No doubt? Yes, I am. Of course I am. I have the fear, what if? You know, what if? See, these are the what ifs. What if the plane crashes? What if the chute doesn't open? You know, what if I die? What if I hit the earth and just splat, you know? I have all those what ifs, but guess what? I'm going to do it anyway. Because a long time ago, I told myself, I am not going to let fear control my life. I'm going to listen to my heart, my passions, and I am going to move on those instead. Now, there's a big difference, and this is something else I really want you to hear. You will have fears in life. But the big difference is, are you going to allow those fears to control your life and prevent you from doing what you truly, truly want? Or are you going to face those fears and then live the life you want? In the Way of Mastery, it reads, let no fear claim authority over the mind any longer. This does not mean that you will not occasionally feel it like a wave moving through you. The difference is that you need not value it. So what that says to me is, yes, I'm going to have those bodies come in, and I'm going to feel that thing in my tummy that, you know, about jumping out of an airplane. I'm going to feel those things, but am I going to give those things power? No, I'm not going to give them power. You know, and every fear that I've ever faced, none of them have been as big as I had them made out to be. Isn't that true? I mean, really. And some of those fears of the what ifs never happened. Some of those fears about, you know, facing someone about a situation. You're all, you know, upset about it, but you have to do it. They don't even know what you're talking about. You know, why was I so upset about all of this? You know, it didn't matter to them. So this is what happens with that little voice in our head. Now, I'm going to jump out of that airplane. Okay, and I'm going to enjoy the rush. I'm going to enjoy that incredible view and the freedom of flying, you know, like a bird. I really want that. So I'm going to do it. And to be quite honest with you, you know, if any of those things do happen and I just fall on the ground and die, I've had a wonderful experience before that moment. And that's what counts to me. That's, you know.
What a way to go.
What a way to go. And, you know, I just want you to know death does, you know, I don't even believe in death. So that doesn't scare me really, because there is no death. But besides, I've already put my order in that I'm going to be having so much fun, go to sleep that night and just not wake up. Okay, that's how I'm going to do it. But you know, it might take time, right, to face some of those fears. It's not just an instantaneous thing, and that's okay. Little steps if you need them, that's okay. The main point is to start taking those steps. I know some experiences are so painful, very, very difficult to even face them. Again, you just don't want anything to do with them anymore. However, they are controlling your life, no matter what they are. So it is always possible to face your fears and release them, no matter what it is that has happened. And when you do this, be very, very gentle with yourself in this process, just like you would be with a newborn baby child. That's how gentle you have to be with yourself. Because in fact, you kind of are, aren't you? You're entering into a new existence. So you're like a newborn baby child. But it all involves the wisdom of your heart. Now, the intellect in this world is very important. We've relied upon it for a very long time. Lots of intellect there, lots of creativity, but we've avoided the wisdom of that. It needs both. We need the intellect and the wisdom to use it. And that's kind of why we're in the situation we are in the world right now. We haven't brought those two things together. So I'm going to actually be teaching next month when I'm here a class. And I think I'm going to be teaching it about how to access that wisdom of your heart. Because to me, it's really what's going to save us. And this is a fun and simple process. You're going to really enjoy it. You might even know about it already. It's the heart-brain coherence and how to do that. It has been the most valuable thing I've ever learned. And then when you learn all of this stuff, you start following your heart. You know, things are just going so well for you, and you think about something, and boom, it's right there. People are going to look at you and say, "How'd you get so smart? How are you doing that?" But you'll know that you have finally brought your heart and your brain together, and you have your power back. Now, I know that some fears that people have are huge, okay? And they seem to be insurmountable. However, if you make a plan and have an intention, which we're also going to be talking about next month, that's the theme, intention, then you can face and release those fears and start living again. It will happen. I would like to kind of suggest a process that I've used myself. So if you have a situation that you're feeling some really, great fear about or whatever, and you're just having problems with it, envision a field, okay? And in that field are some rocks. Right about that way, right? Okay? And what you do is you write as many of those fears down as you can think of. And if you're not really sure about what you're feeling the fear, but you're not sure about what that fear is, go to your heart and ask. Your heart will always answer you, okay? Your heart knows everything about you, and it knows everything instantaneously. And it will help you, and that's kind of what we're going to learn next month. But go to your heart and ask, okay? That means being quiet and listening. Silence is golden. So don't try this while you're watching TV. It doesn't work. But in this process, okay, you are going to put one of those fears on each of those rocks, underneath each of those rocks. So there will be a number of rocks there equal to the number of fears that you can identify at this point, right? And then there's going to be another one called courage. And so you're going to pick up that rock that says, I have a fear of flying, whatever it is. I have a fear of plane crash. So what you're going to do is you're going to sit with that fear. You're going to ask yourself, what is this fear about? You're going to face it. And as I said before, it's amazing. It's not going to be as big as you thought it was when you face it. In fact, it loses its power the moment that you face it. And so you do that with each one of those fears until you've conquered them, okay, and you've released it. The last rock is courage. Now, you're not going to be able to lift that rock until you have conquered those fears, because your heart knows you're not quite ready yet. Okay? Now, this might seem like a long process, but it's really not. This could be just a minute process, depending on the situation. But for me, visualizations are very powerful. It just helps me bring it together and gives me a structure. You know, being an accountant, I need structure. And it helps me a lot. But this is a wonderful process. Or you might have your own process, you know. But when you pick up that rock of courage, the freedom that you will feel from releasing those fears and recognizing the courage within you, it's like out of this world. It just lifts the burdens from you. Once those burdens are lifted, you are free to live your life. And that's why you came here. You did not come here to suffer. As Abraham spoke through Esther Hicks, you did not come forth to get things done. You came forth to dream and move towards those dreams. And what gets in the way of our dreams? The fears. So that's why we must make an attempt to let go of those fears. So every time that you really realize that fear is controlling something in your life, try this process or one of your own. The important part here is that you make an intention to do that. That's why intention is so powerful. And it will work. I promise you that it will work if you can give it attention and intention. So, and the courage that you experience and express in your life is going to affect everybody around you. You are going to be that light. You know, wow, she's courageous. I can be like that, you know. This morning, I went to the Fresh Harvest Cafe and had some coffee, and it was really nice. And I was looking at my phone, and HeartMath. Do you know HeartMath? I think the Institute of HeartMath, incredible. They have done research and they have proven the power of the heart, which I don't have time to go into today. But I did actually, my very first talk, I talked about the power of the heart. But I was looking at that, and they have this program for children to help them release stress and everything. And there was this quote by this little girl I wanted to share with you. Well, she's 11th grade, but she said, "I finally found my voice after years of shutting down." You know, she found her courage. And that made me cry right at the restaurant. I should be a fly. But, you know, all of those are inspirational to others. And we can all do that. And we can all be that light in the world to help others find their courage, because it's always there. So, if you're interested in jumping out of an airplane, I would love for you to join me, and I'll let you know when that's going to be. I'm hoping it's going to be next month. So right now, I would like to invite you to join me in some meditation. I always like to do a little bit of meditation after my talk. So just relax in your chair. And close your eyes. And just breathe deeply, just a couple of times before you move back into your normal breathing. And in this relaxed state, I want you to think of someone or something that brings feelings of love, appreciation, or joy to your heart. And as you move into these feelings, know that you have entered into the deepest wisdom, the wisdom of your heart. Because it's in this wisdom of your heart that you realize who you are. So I want to share the words of Eric Roth from The Curious Case of Benjamin Button screenplay. Remember that? He says, for what it's worth, it's never too late or too early to be wherever you want to be. There's no time limit. Stop whenever you want. You can change or stay the same. There are no rules to this thing. We can make the best or the worst of it. I hope you make the best of it. And I hope you see things that startle you. I hope you feel things you never felt before. I hope you meet people with a different point of view. I hope you live a life you're proud of. If you find that you're not, I hope you have the courage to start all over again. So let's just go into the silence for just a moment with those words in our heart. As you bring your attention back into this room, I want you all to know that I see your courage in every one of you. And I hope that you see it in you also. So thank you for a most wonderful day. I can't even begin to express how honored I am that I'm now a part of this congregation on a monthly basis. And I get to see all of you once a month, maybe even more, who knows. But thank you very much.
Thank you, Donna. A taste of courage. Thank you. I feel better because of it. I'm going to ask Catherine, would you help, and Deb, or Pam, would you help on this side? We're going to have a time here for our offering. And I provide this to you in two parts. We have an offering that comes to our fellowship, and we have an offering that goes to our community partner for the next 2 months called Food Backpacks for Kids. So this little basket has food backpacks for kids on it. It's kind of cute. This one has our name in it. So if you'd like to make a contribution to one or both, you can slip it inside, underneath, whatever you feel like. But this is our offering. And Food Backpacks for Kids provides food to those kids in school here in Florence and in Mapleton who might otherwise go hungry for the weekend. It's a pretty big deal, Donna, as my grandson would say. But you can make your contribution here. You can also go on our website, and the website is in the program. And click on the donate button, and we'll take care of that contribution for you according to your wishes. So as we move forward with our offering, I ask that you repeat after me. Divine love through me.
Divine love through me.
Blesses and multiplies all that I am.
Blesses and multiplies all that I am.
All that I give.
All that I give.
And all that I receive.
And all that I receive.
I am prosperous now.
I am prosperous now.
Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Okay, thank you. So we'll start right over here. Please, no obligation. There's no obligation for making a contribution, but if you feel like it, that would be great. That's our community partner, and that's our Matt. Thank you. Thank you. it's awfully quiet. You want to sing along? You want to continue to talk? You can do what you want, or maybe we can give Jeff to play for us.
Jeff can play for us.
Yeah, give him a round of applause. Oh, yes. Rocket science. Kind of feels good to do that in person. We receive these gifts from you with grateful appreciation. Ashley, would you like to come forward and extinguish the chalice? Now, you can do it one of two ways. You can do it one of those, or you can gently blow it, or we have an extinguisher.
That's three.
That's three. These words come from Brian Keeley, titled, "Carry the Flame." The chalice is now being extinguished, but its light will live on in the minds and hearts and souls of each one of you. Carry that flame with you as you leave this place and share it with those you know, with those you love, and most especially with those you have yet to meet. In closing, I offer the following reminder from E.E. Cummings. It takes courage to grow up and become who you really are. So do it. So again, before we sing our peace song, I remind you that Donna will be up front here if you'd like to gather around in a little circle and talk about her message. Catherine will be available for affirmative prayer, and then we're going to go outside for a picnic. So at this point, I ask you to rise as you are able. We're going to gather around in a big circle. If you would like to extend your hand to someone else to hold, please don't be offended if they say no. We want to practice social distancing and being safe. So, yeah, Jill, can you come on up? She's coming. So gather in a big circle. This is our peace song, everybody. We do this every week. And Jeff's going to lead us into the peace song. Sing it out, sing it proud.